So I've been going to a movement therapy class program, and it's like a 7 class thing throughout 1 month. And Eva, the choreographer that leads it, is someone that I've been going to her choreography classes and stuff, and yeah, basically this video is kind of a reaction to some of the stuff that she said in the last class. And it's some stuff that I kind of wanted to say there and then, but then I also just wanted to listen more and just see what she means and see what the other people mean, because we had like a little sharing and caring circle after the class. And because basically this whole movement therapy thing is about you using movement and dance to release certain things, to connect with certain things, emotions, past traumas, whatever, your strength, your lost strength, or your creativity, to just release stuff and to connect with things. And that class was about the sacral chakra, which has to do with sexuality, creativity, all this type of stuff. And for some reason, I don't remember exactly what the link was, but it had to do with, with all of these, like, there's certain emotions that correlate with them and might get unlocked, right? And towards the end, in the sharing is caring thing, and even one of the questions she gave us as an inquiry, I got the vibe that, like, she was kind of saying that certain emotions are trying to bring you down, and that in a way, you're the one in control. You should be controlling how you feel and not letting those emotions control you. Which, I guess from one perspective, kind of makes sense, and like, you certainly can influence how you feel, with your perspective. Let's say, you're feeling a certain way. Maybe if you start focusing on your breath, so to meditate a bit and clear your head, then maybe you're just focusing on the things you're grateful for. Naturally your emotions will shift, or you feel a certain way. Maybe you feel the type of sensations and emotions that are linked to feeling constricted, confused, getting out there and moving, whether that's like going on a run or on a walk or doing a little workout, literally just jumping around could release that, and certainly you feel lighter, So I certainly agree with the fact that you can influence your emotions, and it's beneficial to be able to do so. I just wouldn't use the word control for that, because I feel like maybe that's just me. Maybe it just takes something inside of me, because I've repressed certain things in the past, but I think a lot of people do. So when she says that, a part of me is like, ugh, what does that mean? What are people soaking up from this? Because obviously she's, in a way, like, obviously she herself says, like, I'm learning, I'm not like a guru or anything, but she's the one leading the thing, and obviously there's other people there who listen to her advice, and that's awesome. And again, maybe she didn't mean the things that I'm saying. I got an overall vibe of like what she was saying, and I'm responding to that. But had I pushed a little more, like, I brought up one of the things that I'm just saying, but maybe that's not exactly what she means, because obviously people use different words to explain different things. But I'm still going to be reacting, and the thing that influenced me to talk right now is the idea that, 1, you should control your emotions. 2, that emotions, a lot of like these negative emotions, are there to put you down. And that you shouldn't let them, basically. And that's crazy to me. Like, I'm like, damn, because to me, like, emotions, like I said, they're your friends in the sense that they're just signals. They're just giving you information. It's feedback. So if you have a certain belief, and you have a certain belief, that usually corresponds to emotions that come. Or you have a certain series of thoughts, emotions come to signal you what those thoughts make you feel. What is the frequency of those thoughts? So let's say you have a bunch of thoughts of like, oh, I don't know if I'm good enough. Damn, everyone in this dance class is so much better than me. Or you have that even as a belief. Maybe you're not thinking that in the moment, but there's that underlying subconscious belief that you're holding on. Maybe even as a part of your identity. And then an emotion will come to signal you that that is a belief. Maybe you're gonna feel less than. You're gonna feel this sort of constricted feeling, or maybe you're gonna feel a little bit of sadness, like a bit of grief, like, oh, I'm just not as good as the other people. Maybe you're gonna get angry at yourself. Maybe you're gonna feel jealous and envious of them. So they're just signaling to you things, and a lot of times that's a really good thing, and I don't think you should ever try to control it. I think you should just, in my mind, actually, the more you just allow the emotions to come up as much as you can. Obviously, sometimes it can be overwhelming, but allowing them as much as you can, and just being there for them, being present and feeling them fully and experiencing them and expressing them. So basically the opposite of repressing them, because that's what it kind of sounded to me, which I'm sure she didn't mean, but it sounded to me like when, they're, don't let them control you, you control them, they're trying to put you down. That in itself, and I guess obviously she had other context, but that was like the thing that was bugging me. And that as the hypothesis, that to me just sounds like a recipe for repressing negative emotions and being angry at yourself for feeling them, or making your emotions like the enemy in your head, which is like, in my opinion, super unhealthy. So my idea is, let those emotions come up, be aware of them, feel them as much as you can, express them. Because one thing that she did talk about was how, to her, it's beautiful how emotions can lead to such amazing creativity, you know? So you can turn something that to her was like bad into something good. And in those terms, to me, again, it doesn't feel right, because why is it bad that you feel all these like difficult emotions? That's like literally a part of your growth, and it's signaling that something is wrong and something needs to be expressed. And that's what leads you to making art, or writing a poem, or singing, or just shouting, or some sort of an expression. And a lot of times that could lead to art that can also be shared with other people, and it could help them, and that's awesome. But even just the act of you, let's say, for the example of like making a song, like you're really sad, or you're really angry, or you're jealous, or you feel like low self-esteem. By you making a song about it and expressing it, you're literally allowing that emotion to be there. You're being there for it. You're literally listening to your own voice express it with your awareness. You're giving it its space and time to like shine, in the sense, to be expressed. And that way you literally transmute it, because you're giving it love. You're telling it, you know what, it's okay. Let me hear what you have to say. Let me be here for you. I'm going to give you a voice. I'm going to let you be expressed. And that almost always leads to a feeling of release, and like the emotion feels less heavy, and yeah, over time it just passes, you know. Sometimes it won't pass right away, but you have lightened it, you know, you have depolarized it a little bit, you have accepted it. And by you giving it love, like by you shining light on the dark disappears, you know, because darkness is just the absence of light. Darkness and those negative emotions that are bugging you, they're just trying to be like, yo, like, give me some love, man. Like, you've put me far away. You've been repressing me for so long. I'm still here. Like, what's going on? So yeah, I don't think they're ever trying to put you down. They're never trying to put you down. They just want to be felt. They just want to be heard. And sure, sometimes those emotions come from like patterns of the ego that over time you can work on, but in no way is it the right way, in my opinion, to work on that and release those limiting beliefs, let's say, that are causing those emotions, by repressing the emotions. That's like you treating the symptom instead of treating the cause. You know, it's kind of actually the same thing as like when people get like quote unquote sick, or they get the flu and they have a fever, and they take all these pills to stop the fever from happening, which in their mind is like them treating the sickness. But the actual fever is your body's reaction, the symptom that is helping you detox from the toxins in your body. You know, it makes you sweat, you start sweating out toxins, all these different things. I'm not going to go into it. But avoiding the emotion, numbing it in any way, even if that is with like your mind tricks of like, no, I'm not going to feel that emotion. That emotion is just trying to put me down. I'm not going to feel it, you know? which is kind of what she was saying. Like, no cap, no disrespect. That's just what I got, you know, and again, I'm not sure if that's exactly what she meant, but that's what I got. And at the end of the day, sure, it could work for some people, but in my opinion, which is what I'm expressing right now, that is not the wave, man. You're trying to suppress the symptom that is literally just a signal. And in a way, the symptoms many times are also the thing that heals you or releases you from the actual problem. So yeah, in my opinion, give yourself the allow yourself to feel the emotions as much as possible, no matter how negative. And again, it can be overwhelming, so pace yourself. And use your body, you know, use your voice. Express yourself. That's the way to let it out, you know, instead of just keeping it inside or repressing it. And yeah, typically anytime I do that and I allow these things to be felt, even if it's not like a major thing, even if I'm just like a little sad, but I'm just there feeling it and I don't try to repress it, I'm just being aware of the sensations, usually it just passes so much quicker than if I start trying to fight it. So either way, even if you try to fight it and it's not working, that'll typically just make the emotion stronger. You're getting angry that you're angry, it gets even more out of control, or whatever the case. Or you're anxious that you're anxious. Why am I so anxious? And you get more anxious. And I know it's easier said than done sometimes. But even if you are successful in fighting it and you suppress it, that's also not a good idea, you know? If you are experiencing negative emotions over time a lot, and they're almost like tied to your identity, shifting your identity is what's going to help. Whether that's through affirmations. Affirmations, you can do shadow work, but any shadow work typically involves actually feeling the negative emotions first before reframing and being like, I've created this, I have the possibility to feel better, I have the possibility to feel lighter, whatever the affirmations you're going to use. It's never just like, let me repress fully and let me just have this positive self-talk, you know, because that's just like bypassing. That's like spiritual bypassing toxic positivity, in my opinion. And it's just super surface level. So yeah, that way you just treat the symptom, you're not treating the actual thing. I think I've kind of expressed myself. I don't want to make this too long. It's already been 13 minutes or so. So yeah, emotions are your friends, man. They're just trying to tell you things. They're giving you feedback on things that have already been happening in your mind, beliefs or whatever. And a lot of times, how can you say that these emotions are trying to bring you down when, like, anger, for example, can be the most, or any of them, like, they can protect you, you know? Imagine someone steps in your shit, like someone steps in your space, trying to push you, trying to do some stuff. Isn't it like normal to feel anger and be like, yo, back the fuck off? You know, we'd never blame an animal for doing that. Why? Oh, the emotions are trying to bring me down. What? No. The anger just comes up because someone's in your space, someone's crossing your boundaries. Get out. That's kind of normal, you know? Or yeah, even like sadness. Sometimes, man, like, why is that trying to bring you down? No, the sadness is there. You're grieving. Imagine you're grieving that someone's passed, or something sad happened, man. Like, you lost something. You lost someone. You just gone through a heartbreak. What, you're going to be like, damn, sadness is trying to bring me down? No, man. You're hurting, man. Like, you have to grieve. Grieving is part of life. Or grieving is part of life. So yeah, it's a lot more nuanced. So I feel like when she said those statements there, and yeah, I was almost like, yo, what? And in a way, maybe I feel now that I should have spoken up more. But yeah, I guess I have the tendency to step in and be like, yo, what about this? What about this? And at the end of the day, this is my opinion and my experience. And I'm in this shared space and she's leading it. And, you know, I'm not trying to be, I guess, doing all that. And like, I wanted to just hear. And I did have some input. But yeah, ultimately, I actually feel like there needed to be some, like, not intervention, but there needed to be an alternative perspective there for people to find their in between, their balance point, you know, because it did feel a little too skewed to one side, of kind of the side of, like, in my opinion, repression, avoidance, that type of stuff, in my opinion, from what I felt. And yeah, that's it. Emotions are your friends. Listen to them. Obviously, don't take everything, like, take it with a grain of salt, but they want to be felt, they want to be expressed. And then you can look in further where they come from and stuff if you want to change these chronic emotions. But that takes time, and that's like more your identity shifting and your habits shifting and your self-talk shifting. That takes awareness and stuff. But the emotions just needing to be felt, that's already shit from the past. That's already the reaction. So if you're fighting it there, you're not helping yourself, you know? Because at that point, you're low-key just limiting your overall ability to feel, and that can get really, really, really dangerous, in my opinion. Not to be like fear-mongering, I'm just saying, like, if you start limiting the way you feel negative emotions and just putting them away, eventually that's going to limit you feeling positive emotions, because it's just a spectrum, and your sensitivity is just getting smaller and smaller. And when people are depressed and they really just don't feel anymore because they've repressed for so long, one of the first things that psychologists will tell you is that you're going to have to open up those negative emotions and slowly feel them. You're going to have to feel those usually first before you start having the capacity again to feel joy, to feel excitement and stuff. It goes both ways. It's like a rubber band, you know? So yeah, love, that's all I had to say. Keep rocking in the free world, keep doing your thing. And yeah, until next time.